Welcome back, everyone. I'm Kyo,
And I'm Cal.
and we are the Manga Mommies, a podcast about everything manga and a little bit of our lives randomly mixed in between. So, would you kindly get a drink, take a seat, and let's chat? Today, we'll be talking about the types of manga fans.
So,
How does one get classified as that?
it's a good question.
When is it
So,
too far? I'm doing this on purpose to you.
I know you are. You're so nice.
I know.
So, figured that we should probably start out with the two main types that you can be classified into, which are your weebs and your otakus. These are some of the words that you will hear when you talk about manga and anime. They are two of the most well known as far as the big cultural exports, as far as fandom goes. Although Japanese culture has recently gained more recognition abroad, several shops, restaurants, and clothing lines in Japan have been influenced by the country's most popular comic books and anime. Due to this popularity, anime fans have been divided into two main categories. So, we'll start off with an otaku. The word otaku can be used as an adjective or a noun. It emerged around 1980, and some would argue that being an otaku can have a negative connotation because some people think they're addicted to their hobby, while others may just find them socially awkward. These are people who fall in love with the manga and Japanese pop culture. Otaku's knowledge about the manga can be comparable to the average manga enthusiast, but an otaku will show you their fondness for that manga to everybody that they meet. Quite often, a Japanese otaku will typically spend their time collecting merchandise, creating fan art, making videos, taking pictures at conventions, and cosplaying. We can break it down into a couple different types just for fun. So there is your anime and manga otakus. These are fans that are obsessed with the shows, the manga comics, and related merchandise. There are game otakus. These are fans who play Japanese video games, visual novels, and collect a lot of the merchandise associated with that. Idol mangas are followers who obsess over Japanese idol groups. So different members of bands such as AKB48 or Baby Metal, for example, a lot of your J-pop. Railway otakus, obsessed with trains. And military otakus are interested in weapons, army tactics, military history reenactments, that kind of stuff.
Any of those struck out to you? I hate this topic.
Yeah, Kyo's just kind of done with my shit on this topic. Wholeheartedly.
Uh,
Wholeheartedly.
it's just it's a classification thing. It just gets me, especially since I'm probably about to go really hard. I don't know. I'm not considered a weeaboo, so which is my topic: weeaboo, woo, or weeb. They're often described as the cancer of the Japanese culture. We can't snuff them out quick enough. They are a bunch of people who are obsessed with Japanese pop culture. Back in the day, they were known as Wabanese or wannabe Japanese. They're anime fans who aren't just in it for the anime. They're in for what they think is Japanese culture. The main few characteristics of a weeb are, and if you are these, please change your ways. Hashtag love you. Are fascinated by Japanese culture and will frequently disregard their own identities, whether it be racial, cultural, or otherwise. They commonly make offensive assumptions about Japanese society based on the themes of their favorite anime. In addition to it's hard to read it because it just hurts to have to classify someone as that because they just can't. It's a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to being interested in and devoted to the culture, these individuals would begin speaking or utilizing Japanese slang as their native tongue. They use the slang instead of the appropriate words at the appropriate times. It's pretty much, you see it a lot with people first learning it, and they just learn it through anime.
Yep.
Anime does use a lot of slang.
Yep.
It's just easier. After being introduced to the Western world culture in the 1900s, anime and manga series started to increased rapidly. The Cartoon Fantasy Organization was the first fan organization, and it was founded in 1977 in Los Angeles. After Sailor Moon was created in the 1900s, the culture saw a boom that attracted the young adults. It attracted people as young as grade school after being translated into English in 1995 to make it more widely available. I'm okay. We're okay. Onward! So everyone can learn.
The more you know.
The more you know.
So, another honorable mention that we thought would be something that should be talked about, but will not be a part of the fun little quiz we have at the end of this episode, is the hikikomori. Now, according to the National Library of Medicine in Japan, a hikikomori is a person suffering from a form of severe social withdrawal. It has been frequently described in Japan and is characterized by adolescents and young adults who become recluses in their parents' homes, unable to work, go to school for months or years at a time. This disorder is characterized in the DSM-5 under a variety of psychiatric disorders. However, a notable subset of these cases with substantial psychopathology do not meet the criteria for any existing psychiatric disorder. This basically is to say that it seems to be a culture-bound syndrome, and it merits further international research on whether it meets accepted criteria as a new psychiatric disorder. But because of the condition and how reclusive these individuals become, we thought it was, sort of in our due diligence to mention that this can happen, that withdrawal can happen from society. And if prolonged long enough, the individual feels like they actually can't return to society, they rely on chat rooms, AI bots, things of that nature to get the interaction that they have. And it is a condition that is sort of stigmatized more heavily than the sort of joking, otakus and weebs. So we did mention it, but we just wanted it to be something that people understood could happen. Not that we would ever encourage somebody to actively pursue that line of fandom.
Yeah, leave your house every once in a while.
Yeah. Talk to people.
Go to a con, put on deodorant. I don't know. I mean, it's a good thing to mention. It's just, it's one of those things that just happens, unfortunately. I mean, pretty much it's a shut-in. It's American terms, shut-in.
To the extreme.
To the extreme.
Can't hold a job, can't socialize, can't do anything except interact through a computer screen.
You're in your mom's basement. Which is typical old jokes people used to have. Come to a con, everybody gets out of their basement so the mom can wash the sheets. Old jokes. Oh. Old jokes from old people. What? But I'm not making fun of nobody. I'm just saying it's an old stereotypical joke, especially over here in America.
I mean, they are jokes, but when it's taken as far as, somebody who ends up becoming a hikikomori, it's not something that we're not joking about those people. Those people actually have like a serious psychiatric disability and need professional help. That's not who we're talking about in this episode.
Yeah, pretty much. 100%.
Although I think we do have a couple other types of fans just for fun.
We do. And I have some examples. I love examples. They're so much fun. There is some subcategories that are interesting here in mentioning when it comes to what would you be labeled as in your subcategory. So, first you have the shipper. Everyone loves the shippers. They're usually on the Reddits and all the forums. Some people don't, and there's a big reason why. Your shipper's all about the love between two characters. They could be straight, they could be gay, they could be both. It's a series of everything, and it applies to fan art and fan fiction, fan mixes, AMVs. I was a big AMV person. Just wanting two characters, no matter what it is, to be happy with each other, even though it is nothing to do with them to be happy with one another. This also goes for characters that didn't get with the person that you wanted to get with in the manga. So like some of the shippers would be like with Inuyasha is one of them. Who's she gonna be with? Who he gonna be with? Fuck Kikyo. I mean, I don't fucking like her, but a lot of people do ship Inuyasha and Kikyo all the time. Then you have, Wallflower. There's a few guys that are options for her, and then there's like the main one or whatever. They ship those a lot. Then you have Hanakimi, where you got the love triangle or love angle aspect of it. Then there's, like Host Club and Fruits Basket. I could go on and on and on. There's tons of manga I have that could probably be shipped left ways to Sunday.
Oh yeah.
So you mostly see them recently with Husband Hotel is one of the recent ones I've seen a lot of. Husband Hotel and Hell of a Boss.
Yeah.
I know there's been a lot of, especially with the line for Valentine's Day that came out that a lot of people were mad about. And I say, I agree with her. Fuck y'all. Again, y'all are still buying it. I don't understand. I don't want to rant. But then you have your fandom intellectuals. They're pretty much the fandom. Anime is mostly the extent of their education or their knowledge. They might have majored in literature or media studies, science, history, psychology, or something along those lines. And they look at the manga through the lens. Where's the secrets? Where's the lore? One example would be Death Note. Death Note's a big one because it straddles along the morals of if I kill this person for the good, how is it bad? Or is it still considered bad? They're heroes, but are they really? Where's the line in the morality? Area. It's the moral gray area, and that's what they try to look into. They want to know everything. They want to know the secrets. Black Butler. Demons. I know. Beautiful. He's beautiful. Kissy, kissy. Kissy,
my
kissy.
Mouse pad.
I know. Yes, your mouse pad, your fandom. Yes. So I even have like a weird heart in it. I don't even know. But I pulled it out of there for some reason. I had like box of chocolates, and I guess it is a heart from a box of chocolates. It's just a heart. Demons. I mean, would you really sell your soul to get even with people?
Yeah.
Or how the family die, or how this or that. Like, it gives you like vague things, and you don't know really until the end, but until then you would speculate. Then you have your casuals. They've seen like the same handful of manga that everybody else has seen. That would be you. But it all has to be translated because they don't know any of it in any other language. You, though, maybe French.
I could do French, but as far as any of the Asian languages,
no. Okay. They probably read it and they don't remember much about it. There's a few of those. That's like this, for example. Anything but Clamp. Anything but Clamp got very popular when it got released. Card Captors. See how it is not in English at all? Y'all wouldn't own this. Y'all wouldn't have this. This is first edition. Y'all wouldn't have this or own this. Y'all would probably have more like One Piece or Naruto or Rurouni Kenshin. or Trigun or Black Lagoon. You know, the one-time hitters, the one big ones that come out. I don't have Attack on Titans, or else I'd show that one. That one's another one too.
I have them. They're up there somewhere. It's usually like, for me, if it was a big anime and I watched the anime, then I went to the manga.
Mm-hmm.
So if it got big and it was like, hey, yep, I like that. I like the storyline behind it. I want to know more. Then I go out and I search out the manga for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, though with the casual, you just don't. You may have read it, you may not have, or you'll just lie flat out because everyone else has read it and you know that there's a ninja in it somewhere, and that's just pretty much how it goes.
It's just enough to remember.
Oh, that is so true. Another one of those would be also Kingdom Hearts. I forgot about that one. Then you have your hipsters, which I knew. Ooh. Back when Shonen Jump started in America, oh, we had some hipsters. I unfortunately may have been one of them just a little bit, but that's because I have bias against certain things. But this was here nor there. And again, those biased would be more toward, I know I don't have Bleach. I don't have that one. Or Dragon Ball Z. I wish I had Dragon Balls. But again, these two. They were hipsters. They were considered the hipster mangas because everyone either knew One Piece, everyone knew Bleach, or they ran around saying believe it. If you were like me, you would be considered a hipster because we read it in Shonen Jump before it came out. Once it was released and had an anime, then everyone flocked to it. Much like it happens almost every big manga season. Every few years it kind of happens. It happened with Naruto. It happened with One Piece has been recently coming back with that. Host Club was big on it. Fruits Basket was big on it. My Hero Academia is there for it. You had a lot. And for my BLs, my boy lovers, Gravitation was one of them. Sailor Moon, 3x3 Eyes. Mars was also one of the bigger ones too. So if it just, you wanted to be separated from them. You were like, oh, I discovered it first. I don't even like it anymore. Granted, I am one of those somewhat people when it came to Naruto. When it got to, because my mangas, when it got to the cutoff where they go from being younger to they're older now and they're doing like their own thing in the college days is what I call it. I stopped. It's like, nope. Tapped out. And I only have like two. I know I harp a lot on One Piece. I only have two manga, and they're the original two that came from Shonen Jump. So
Yeah. It's too cool for you to like it anymore.
It's too long for me to like it anymore. You know how much money that would cost me to try to go back and just buy them all at this point? Maybe if I got rich, maybe I would, just to be a weirdo. I do have one to point out, though, and it's not a part of any of this at the moment, but there is one that I want to point out, and it makes me excited. Recently, I have noticed that, and I got really excited about it, too. So, like, one of my personal favorites that was part of the Shonen Jump line originally didn't really pick it up like the main three did around the same time. I think this one was a little bit older at the time. I think it missed it by a few years, just like how technically Dragon Ball missed it. Rurouni Kenshin. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend the anime. That is now on Netflix. They brought it back on Netflix. Don't watch their little last movie, though. Don't watch the last movie. They do my man wrong. They do my man wrong. That's wrong. It was wrong. It was a terrible movie. The little end it all movie. Don't do it. Don't watch it. It's not. Don't do it. Kenshin. I have all this one. So, I know I'm fanning over here. It's all And then you have your monogamists who are interested in one anime, one manga. That's it. End of days. That'll be up in every conversation. It'll always start out as sorry to bring want again, but this that actually reminds me of, and they obsess with it entire lifetime. Again, I could go back to the others, Naruto, One Piece, a lot of them do it. You know that person. They won't watch nothing else. There's people like with Attack on Titans that do it. There's people with Fruits Basket that do it. There are people with, and it's not even like, I get why they obsess with it, but it's not. There's more out there.
It's the be all end all for these people. And I mean, it translates to everything.
Yes.
I'm not this person, but like I have Mario and Yoshi on my wall. I have several pieces of, different things all over the place from my house. If you looked, like, I probably at some point could have a specified room dedicated to something. But these people take it so much farther. Their entire lives are dedicated to this one fandom. That's it. There is nothing else for them. They're not interested in anything else. If it's not this one fandom, they want nothing to do with it.
And that can become very dangerous very fast, as a lot of people know from there's a lot of examples, but I'm not going to mention any of them here today because we're focusing on manga and not the cartoonist world. Is what I lump everybody to. I know there's technical terms. I'm not going to go there. So, but I think if I had to have one obsession, if I had to be the one obsession person, it's not that. It would be Sayuki. Very good. Hot priest man. It's very good. Hot priest man. I hate that it's reversed. Who travel with these lovely men who all have powers. It's traveling to the West is pretty much what it's about. He's also made a few other mangas that didn't really get finished. He was really known for that, starting and ending. So some of the Sayukis never actually came over here either. And it's very upsetting. But I am a big Sayuki fan. I'm a lot of fan, but I'm a big Sayuki fan. Big Sayuki fan and a big Get Backers fan. This one you're going to see, it has plastic on it. You can't find these. They're very rare, especially in English. Like, I only got, I think it's 18 or something like that out of all of them. But I still have to hunt down the rest of them. But they're really good. Then you have your, my life, the activists. We got to take a minute for them. You got your activists, and then you got your gatekeepers. Those two are far worst. We all wish we could send them away. We know they're trying to do good, but they're not going in that direction. They're also known as SJWs, social justice warriors, and they focus on rooting out the oppression in fandom. Now, there's a lot. I think you were able to describe it a little bit better than me, and I'll just show some examples on the manga end.
So, I mean, these are people who are going to call out the fat phobia that is either in the fandom itself or in a manga series. They are going to call out pretty much anything that is considered like a social norm in the real world, like a stigma there. So if you have people who are openly mocking gay fandoms, they're going to call it out and say, hey, no, that's not okay. But these are people that their passions are very black and white. Like, they are hardcore to the death we are not having this. And the moral absolute is not a cute look. It's not a good look. And it's like debating like politics or religion in a manga form with these
Yep.
fans. And they're on kind of one side of the spectrum, and then you have your gatekeepers on the completely other side of the spectrum that are very much purists almost. It's, this is what it is. Stop doing your like your fanfics. Stop doing all of this stuff. Don't ship these people together. Like, worship this fandom as it is, or get the hell out of here. Both of them are, in my opinion, and probably most people's opinion, relatively insufferable long term. Like, okay, we can have a debate about something. Okay, I can accept where you're coming from on certain points here or there, whatnot. But ultimately, you're kind of towing a really hard line that a lot of people may not have such a staunch opinion as you do, and you're gonna drive away a lot of people from either your presence or the fandom, depending on how toxic it is.
Yeah. Some examples of manga that really do drive the activists would be like, some of the shippers get them. I know that's the truth, especially with like Fruits Basket or whatever. You got your cons. You have, what do you mean she can't, Toru can have big breasts if she wants. It's a whole thing. And when it comes to manga, it's like Wallflower. Wallflower is about a girl who 100% believes she's ugly and she's super gothic and she wants to stay in the dark forever and always hug her skeleton man and her cadaver person. And she is being forced by her aunt to be turned into a lady by four handsome guys. That would set a lot of people off. Why can't she be who she wants to be? It's the contract of she's ugly, but flour falls on her and they realize she's gorgeous, but she's just refuses to look in the mirror, so she's got pimples all over her face. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, conventional beauty standards.
Hanakiba is another one. She's a track star. She's in a Japanese-American track star who got a scholarship to an all-boys program for an all-boys school. So she dresses like a boy, college student, to attend this school because her idol also runs and attends the school, and she ends up, it's like a whole bunch of shenanigans. But a lot of people be like, that's gender, what's the term?
Discrimination.
Thank you. Gender discrimination. I don't have words today. I don't care to have words today. Absolute Boyfriend, or Manga of the Month. That's another example. I know, I shouldn't be revealing this right now. So, girl doesn't think she's pretty enough to have a man. She's tried every cosmetic product out there in the universe to be pretty, to grow her boobs, to look beautiful. It's highly can be against that, because everybody be like, well, what do you mean? That's not the definition of beauty. But you see it constantly out there in these day and age. All the cosmetic brands and stuff like that targeting young girls vulnerable in that. Example. Then you have your gatekeepers. I have a little bit more of offense to them. But it's because I'm tall. And there's a reason for that. And there's a reason ideas. Because I'm too tall to be the pretty anime girl. So, I mean, you got to be the right height. You got to be the right weight. You can't have this. You got to have that. They're fictional characters.
It doesn't matter. Let people have what they want to have. And the gatekeepers are like, no, we can't do that.
A lot of the fix, okay. I guess, to a lot of the fixed, I guess, rebel against gatekeeping has been the multi-universe argument, which I get it and I completely understand it. Um, uh, Gatekeeping in manga would be considered for me would be like, well, Hanakimi would be one of them, but another one would be again Fruits Basket. Spoilers for like 800th time. Your main bad is actually a girl who was told to be a guy because only the head of the family is a guy. No gatekeeping. You read manga, you enjoy manga.
That's the broadest gatekeeping I've ever heard. You read it and you will enjoy it.
You read it, you enjoy it. You read it, you enjoy it. You read it, you enjoy it. This one's funny. This poor man. I feel bad for him. Oh man,
The war.
that is so true.
The war.
Oh yeah. No, like Fruits Basket fans. I don't know if this is actually well knowledge or not with a lot of people, but she wrote this by the way too. It's really good. Just throwing that out there. There's more. As you can see, I pulled from a lot of my shelves and then I cried because I realized there's a lot of manga I don't have and I wish I did. So if you want to donate to the fund of getting me manga, please donate. I would love it.
Shameless promo.
Yeah, shameless promo. Girl broke. Girl wish she had more money for manga.
Or more coffee.
Well, I have it on there as coffee, but I mean, I should change it to manga, to be honest with you. In my last example, since we tangent on so long, my last example will be the former fan. Yay! You gotta love those people. They're totally over it. They don't care. They're done. It was back when they were school. You know the fun thing? Cartoons are for kids. Games are for kids. Comic books are for kids, even though this one's not, because this is quite adult. More boy love. Sorry, I get way too much into that.
Yeah, the former fan, 100% me with Dragon Ball Z. Loved it as a kid, absolutely adored it. Tried to rewatch it as an adult because I grew up with the anime first. Was like, I'm not really feeling this. It literally has not changed in 25 years. And then I was like, okay, maybe I'll pick up a manga. And I remember reading through, I think it was 1 or 2 chapters of one of the books, just sporadically, just picked it up, went, okay, nope. I have outgrown the manga, I have outgrown the anime, I have outgrown the fandom, and I would be okay never seeing it again.
And it's not always just, and that's one thing I'm gonna point out. It's not always just they read a manga they loved back in the day and then they were like, I'm too old for it. It also can be like, again, the gatekeepers or the massive fandom or the toxicity of the fandom. It can turn them off. It can really be like, I don't care about that anymore. These mangas I show today have a lot of the examples of that. It can turn anyone. I mean, even a few of our mangas of the months, especially like October, that one was pretty rough. If you didn't have the stomach for it, that was pretty rough to get to because it shows a lot of like, what ifs.
Oh yeah.
Starving Among Us, yeah. That one was rough. We all know. I enjoyed every bit of it.
Yeah.
I like the what ifs. They're fun. I think we're going into your quiz time that you were so excited to do.
I even have a clipboard. Quiz time.
Excuse me. Why I ignore you.
So, I did put together a little quiz to see if, just for fun, it's a put a finger down quiz. If, you were wondering whether or not that you were going to be an otaku or a weeb, based on, a very couple broad criteria, but they're just fun anyway.
Put a finger down.
Yeah. You can if you want to.
Okay.
Or you can just, mentally check them off. That either or. So,
Okay.
you could be wondering whether you're an otaku or a weeb that you're aware of, now that you're aware of some of the differences, because we talked about it earlier. So put a finger down if you enjoy both manga from Japan and comics from the West. So you read both the original and translated manga. You have posters of mangas or animes around your room. Beyond manga or anime.
That's a game.
She's feeling real called out with this one.
I used to have them. A lot of them got destroyed by accident. Well, yeah. So, but that's a game, and that's my special one.
All right. Beyond manga or anime, you're not very interested in other facets of Japanese culture. You obsessively focus on your niche interests. Collecting related merchandise and memorabilia is life. Attending cons and meetups interests you.
It does, but I'm too broke.
Dressing up in cosplay is literally a no-brainer.
I wish.
And engaging in creative fan works is a pastime. Whether that's fan fiction, whether that's being an artist and drawing different things, making your own, posters, what have you. If you can relate to any of these, you might be happy to call yourself an otaku. But if you're passionate about every aspect of Japanese culture, whether it includes the manga or not, this might not be the best candidate label for you. What if you enjoy tasting Japanese cuisine? You purchase a monthly package of Japanese snacks. You religiously...
I don't need more of it. I do enjoy occasionally finding them. That's great.
You religiously study Japanese. You won't watch or read anything that isn't Japanese manga. You never stop reading manga. You wish to travel to Japan because it's the best country in the world, and you romanticize the version of it that you see in the mangas and anime rather than, what it actually is. If any two or more of these behaviors are something that you can say without a doubt religiously that you do, you might be a weeb.
Just because I like snacks? I like to eat?
No, I think it's definitely more, I broad stroked it out very, very much when I started just kind of throwing this together. But it's,
cool.
I would not call you a weeb.
Well, I mean, I go by Kyo, so all the time I'm just like, ow.
Yeah, but the thing is you're not telling everybody in your daily life that they can't use your actual name.
Yeah, you have to actually get permission for that because I have to trust you.
I mean, even when we first started hanging out and met each other, I only ever knew you as Kyo.
I know, it's going to suck when I die. But no. Come on, people. Manga's good. You love manga. You love manga. And actually, what's funny, and I'm going to let y'all know now, let's see. Mangas have different versions of cover. There's different, some of them have different covers for certain reasons. Inuyasha, I actually have what they call the yellow cover or the yellow bind. And it's because it is one of the first ones that was released here in America. That is actually, you read it left to right. You don't read it right to left. It's not traditional. So, but this one is more volumes than their rewrite, which are the thicker ones. I forgot what color those were. And then my 3x3 eyes is the same way. So my 3x3 eye manga is also left to right. So, because some people couldn't understand the concept, which is why they started putting the stop, you're reading the end instead of the beginning.
I mean, I would be interested to see what everybody else kind of feels like their fan archetype is based on all the ones that we've sort of explained out in this episode. So if anybody wants to let us know, or if anybody has any suggestions or ones that they feel like we missed, because we kind of just took a lot of the basic ones
Again, the
that
word
were
some.
yeah, that were
Some.
way more popular um than other ones. So if you have one in particular that you feel like fits in that we didn't talk about, or a different archetype, or you have something to say about otakus and weebs and what have you, let us know.
You don't have to fit in just one. Like this can go abroad. So like I said, I admit I used to be a hipster because I flat out refused to read it after it got mainstream. Because I'm sorry, I'm not going to run around and pretend to be a ninja or, you know, all that fun stuff. And I occasionally become a shipper. I'm casual. I'm not as diehard as I used to be because money and kids. So that kind of, it's not really an excuse. But please don't admit if you're a weeb. Please don't. Just go ahead and just call yourself an otaku and change your ways secretly.
Yep. Just submarine that shit.
I'm not
Just
gatekeeping.
fly under the radar.
I'm not gatekeeping. I'm not gatekeeping. I'm not. I'm just saying
She's over here
very bad. It looks very bad on a lot of people.
She's just over here gatekeeping an entire fandom of like types of manga. Like she has just become like it's like the peak gatekeeper, like the peak Karen. Like you're gatekeeping how people can archetype themselves as fans. She's going all out.
But nobody's gonna admit to be a weeaboo, and if you do, then you don't know what the hell you're talking about. I'm sorry, you don't. I guarantee people are like, I'm such a weeaboo. Woo! And then you're like,
Not
Then a lot
what
of people
you think.
get called out. You call yourselves out. We see you. We see you.
Yep. If you made it this far in the episode, we want to say thank you. We couldn't do this without your support. If you'd like to subscribe and become an official Manga Mommies member, the link will be in the show notes. For the manga of the month, the PDF, copy, or free website is located in the description below. If you feel up to it, like, subscribe, and share our podcast so we can find more people just like you. We hope you have a great rest of your day, whatever time that happens to be, and we can't wait to see you next week.
Stay tuned, and thanks for listening.